Hello, all, and welcome back to a new episode of TV and Us, a conversation show about the TV series we just can't stop talking about. My name is Jennifer Hahn.
And I'm Sarah Callan.
And today we are back with a very special episode. What is today? What is the special occasion of the moment?
Yes, our special episode today it's our TV and Us birthday.
Whoa!
We need to insert some fanfare or air horns or something here. But yeah, we are so excited. Mm-hmm. Cannot believe it is another year of TV and Us in the books. And so we just want to celebrate that.
Mm-hmm. We are turning 3 today, I believe, right?
It's wild.
This whole show was the product of a what if question, some insanity, some scrambling. We came up with the whole rebrand of our other show, Movies and Us.
Yep. And
launched the show and rebranded all of our graphics and proceeded to watch so many episodes of Succession Season 4 because Succession Season 4 was happening and we did not want to miss that moment. So we pulled this together. It was like the ultimate spontaneity and chaos smoothie that birthed TNU.
With productivity. We took the chaos and the insanity and we made our to-do lists and we ran with it and we did it. And now we've been doing this for 3 years.
3 years is crazy.
Wow.
And my favorite part of this whole thing is that you and I, when we started this, was it'll just be a fun thing. Even if we just do a show or two a year, just to launch something on the side, just for fun, that'll be great. But we did not just do a show or two in a year. We've covered quite a lot, actually. We're on season 17.
We just finished season 17 of TV and Us. 17 seasons of TV we have covered on this show.
That's
wild.
A rate of slightly less than 6 show seasons of television in a year.
Yeah, we're a little unhinged. But we're having a great time. So here we are.
We're having the best time. I guess thoughts and reflections as we arrive at this 3-year birthday milestone for TV and Us. Any things that have come to mind or thoughts that have trickled in?
Yeah, I think the fun thing about this show is we can kind of pick whatever we want and then go deep into that thing. So we've done some current seasons of TV, but we've also taken in the last year the opportunity to review a show that both of us have been so excited to watch, but never made the time to do so. And so it's been so fun to get to dive into The Sopranos with you and also with our friend Philip too, who's been able to join us for a few episodes. So that has just been such a fun time, is to watch this iconic show that we've been wanting to watch, and this is just a great way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something really neat too about going through a journey over multiple weeks or months sometimes together. It feels like there's fun conversations that emerge that we don't necessarily have in the same way when we're talking about movies, hearing what you're excited to see next or the moments that stood out to you from a show has been really fun and interesting to see, of all of the characters in a show that all have full story arcs, which ones are speaking to you or pissing you off. And I think that's been really neat to see. Whereas I think we just the nature of the conversation is so different when it's about a standalone film versus this long sweeping journey with many characters over many weeks and months when we're talking about TV shows. So that's been neat. And I think also, like you mentioned, there's just stuff that we haven't gotten to see before that we are finally checking the box on and fully getting to appreciate, that have been really living up to the hype, but then also getting to feel connected to the larger media landscape with things like Alien Earth and just like everybody's takes about that show. That's been really fun too. So we got a great mix of current and also classics, I think, over the past year. So do you want to just like rattle off the list of all the goodness we've covered in the last year?
Yes, so in the last year, we have reviewed The Last of Us Season 2, The Bear Season 4, Alien Earth, The Sopranos Season 1, and The Sopranos Season 2.
That's a lot.
That
That's
is a
some good
lot.
stuff. There's some wins and some losses in there.
Right. A wide range we've covered in the last year.
A wide range, but all honestly like shows that we have previously watched IP or previous seasons that we've loved.
Mhm.
So I think that was fascinating from the past years. Like we've had context for many of the things that we got to consume. I in prepping for this episode was scrolling through and like The Last of Us season 2 feels like a different lifetime. It
Right?
was so fun to get to cover that with Dylan
Mhm.
and hear his thoughts about it and his perspectives about it. That was really, really fun. But I don't even remember what really happens. I just remember being upset. And I don't really remember why exactly all the time. But
Mhm.
that feels like so long ago. It's
Yeah, the
crazy.
clearest memory that I have of that season is we watched an episode together because I was in Seattle, and so we watched that together, and
That's
there was a continuity
right.
error somewhere, and I spotted it, but I didn't trust what my eyes were saying that I saw, and so I was, like, sitting on your couch with the remote, like, trying to just make sure that there is a continuity error in that scene, and I was obsessed for a little while. That is my biggest memory of that entire season is me hunting for that continuity error, and you were off doing something productive with your life.
And then I heard you exclaim, "See, there it is. Yes, there it is." It's
Oh
like,
man.
yes, Sarah, there it is. But sweet, sweet satisfaction for you. That's all that matters. I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That was so long ago.
It was so long ago.
Oh my god.
A whole
And
lifetime ago.
The Bear season 4, I'm like, "Oh my
Mhm.
god, that was a whole journey." It
Yeah.
all just feels like faded memories from a long time ago.
Mhm.
But in getting to pick some of the things, some of the choices for today's conversation, it was fun to revisit a lot of the journeys with some beloved characters. So here's kind of your roadmap for our birthday episode. We're going to talk about and each bring 3 episodes from all of the shows that we got to watch from the past year. We each pick 3, our little basket of goodies of episodes that we really loved for whatever reason. And maybe it was the conversation we had around it, maybe it was the episode itself, but 3 episodes that were a standout. And then if you've listened to TVNS, you know that we love to give out some fake awards. So we are doing birthday awards where kind of following the same structure of many of our TVNS themed awards that are aligned to the show, customized for the show with fun categories. We're choosing our favorite memorable dialogue from the past year of TV shows and seasons that we've watched, our favorite character, and a standout moment. And those are very broad and open up for interpretation, which is really fun. So let's start with 3 standout episodes from the past year. Sarah, what are your 3 episodes that you're bringing to the table in your little basket?
Okay, so my first one that I am bringing to the table is from The Bear season 4, and it is episode 9. And the reason why that is a standout to me is that is the episode where Carmi goes to his mom's house and she
Oh,
apologizes and he cooks her a meal. And I loved that episode. It was such a tender moment, and it was also so human. Like, obviously Jamie Lee Curtis gives a great performance as Donna, and she's trying to get through this apology and make her amends, but
yeah,
also in Carmi's response to her. And again, Jeremy Allen White gives a great performance as always, but it was just this human, raw moment
yeah,
that I absolutely loved. And then, if that's not enough, in that same episode, I guess spoilers for The Bear season
yeah,
4, episode
yeah.
9.
Broad
Um,
sweeping spoiler alert here
yeah,
for all the
spoiler
shows.
for all of the shows that we've covered in the last year. But also in that episode, is when Tina is able to cook the pasta in time. And the way that like she has been working on this pasta the entire season and struggling and getting frustrated, and the guys have her do it and she does it in time and they don't make a big deal about it, and so she sees the time and gets to like celebrate internally. That's an amazing moment.
Mm.
We see Marcus's growth in being named one of Food and Wine's best new chefs too in that episode. So it's just such a great episode with so many like really exciting things happening for these characters that we absolutely love, while also being tender and heartfelt and beautiful in all of the things. So that is my first entry.
So good. So good. That moment is so heartwarming. And I think it showcases what the bear does so well too, which is that moment feels so earned, but it's also not
Mm-hmm.
over the top and overly melodramatic. It is this quiet reconciliation that we've been seeing is so difficult for these two characters to make.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a packed episode. Well
Mm-hmm.
done.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Oh,
Should we just go one at a time? I'll
sure.
share one, you
Yeah.
share one.
What's
Okay.
yours? What's your first one?
So my first one that I'm bringing to the table is it was an immediate, like, I have to talk about this episode. It came up to mind, flung to mind, really. It's The Sopranos season 1, episode 5. It's the college episode. This is Tony and Meadow going on their college road trip tour, and Tony is super dad and also has some side quests. And takes out an old friend at a gas station. One of the first times we see Tony's like uh, loyalty and how deep that goes for him, and valuing loyalty and taking out this rat, but also just his like aggression. We hadn't seen that before on the show yet from him in this very violent scene. Um, Also in this episode, if that wasn't enough, is Father Phil and Carmela. A lot of eating and snacking and a little too much wine together. So there's some really fascinating um, and uncovering of who Carmela is and some of those soft, squishy spots in her that are being unfulfilled at the moment. So it's a jam packed episode, and the like intertwining of those two threads together, I think, is just so genius. So one of my favorite episodes of The Sopranos so far, and had to talk about it. The college episode.
It is such a great pick, and that is also one of mine that I'm bringing to the table. So just times two to everything you just said. It is such a phenomenal episode, and I love seeing Tony handling this rat and handling the betrayal, and side by side it is Carmela potentially betraying Tony, and we see the danger of betrayal in this family, and we obviously like it's an unsafe thing for Carmela to potentially do, so it just makes it even more tense and frightening. And then of course Meadow is just there and along for the ride, and I also love that we see how Meadow and Tony understand each other, and they have a few conversations throughout where you can really see their connection and their bond and the way that they see each other in a way that I think a lot of other people don't see them and don't understand them. So I love
Mm-hmm.
that we get to see that bond in addition to all of the other things that happen in this episode.
Yeah, yeah, so true, so true. And we also like leave the context and go somewhere else. So there's all these new sides that we get to see from all of them. Okay, what's your second? What second piece are you bringing to
It
the?
was The Sopranos season 1,
Oh,
episode
oh,
5. So
oh. Okay,
what
nice,
is
nice,
your
nice.
second one?
My second one is The Bear, season 4, episode 7. This is the Bear's wedding episode. Uh, the scene that stands out to me is them all being under the table and uh, just sharing what are you most afraid of, and each character sharing so precisely the thing that is so them in their wiring. It's also an episode that like was very anxiety inducing going in, because it's following the similar model of previous seasons. We would expect an explosive family gathering, but instead we get this really heartwarming moment where everyone is really seeing each other and understanding each other. It doesn't last very long, but I just that whole emotional journey was so cathartic throughout this episode, and I loved it. So the Bears wedding episode.
This is such a great pick. I almost picked this one, so I'm glad that I didn't. But yeah, that scene of them all under the table sharing is so tender and heartwarming while also being hilarious, which again is something that the bear really excels in, is that mixing of emotions and
Hmm.
how you can have joy and sorrow and anxiety all at the same time, and I feel like that's what you get in that episode, and it's paced so well that you're just riding those waves of emotion as you're
Yeah.
just navigating this wedding and seeing the little tiny eruptions of chaos and just like bracing for impact for the big one that you think is coming. So just a brilliant way to play with our expectations, and then just get us right in the feels. So good job, the bear.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So true. Seeing these characters collide with each other, that you're like, oh, this could end really poorly, but it also could end really beautifully. And we see, for the most part, it is a feel good episode, unlike what we might be have been bracing for, like you said. So that mixing of emotions, like you mentioned, is so good. Okay, what is your number three pick? I guess it's not number three. It is the third in the
My
basket because we are
third.
not ranking these because
Yes.
that is too
Nope.
difficult. No, ma'am.
It's far too difficult.
Your
Um,
third pick.
yes, my third pick that I am bringing to the table is coming from a surprising place, and that is Alien Earth. And I am picking episode 5, which is the one that takes place in space. And
Oh, very good pick. You loved this episode because
I
it's
loved this
nothing like the
episode.
rest of the season.
So that's why I had to pick
It's
it,
so good.
because either it was all like, then it if I didn't pick Alien Earth, it was either going to be two bears or two Sopranos. So I wanted to like spread the wealth a little bit, and I loved this
Yeah.
episode of Alien Earth. Didn't love the show as a whole, but man, this episode just it just worked for me. Everything that I wanted out of the show, they did in this episode. I was so pleased the way that they utilized the ship as this. I mean, it's what Alien does so well. They just did it in an episode, and that's why it was so much fun. These people trying to outrun the aliens, trying to survive in this closed, contained space. It created so much tension. The production design was great. The
So good.
camera work was great. The lighting was great. Like, it was just such a fun time being trapped in space with these people as they met their demise.
I totally forgot that this episode existed because it's kind of random, I think, in the
Hmm.
arc of the show
Yeah.
too. Um, but it was like, hey, remember what you love about Alien? We're gonna give you a little mini movie. And
Yes.
that's exactly what you wanted. Yeah, I
Hmm.
remember you raving about this episode. And then I also remember in our looking ahead section in our review of that episode, you're like, well, I got what I wanted from this episode. So I'm not looking forward to going back to the rest of the arc of the show and have to
Yep.
find out what happens with like Wendy and yes. So
Hmm.
little side quest, the best side quest of them all,
It was
really.
great. I had so much fun. No notes. Just more of that, I guess, is
Oh,
my note. But
yeah.
then it wouldn't be Alien Earth. So
No.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right. What
But
is
you
your
got a
third?
taste of what you wanted.
Yes.
My third pick is I thought about what you were saying, like spreading the wealth, but but I didn't.
No, you shouldn't have to. You make your
I'm
own
glad you
decisions
did.
how you want to.
My last pick is The Sopranos season 2, episode 12.
Oh,
The
so
knight
good.
in white satin armor. Uh, this is like explosive, visceral, satisfying, everything you want from like a mob show in this episode. And it was so good that I think in a review of this episode, I think I referred to it as this was a great season finale. And then I had to be like, no, no, there's a whole nother episode happening. But it was that satisfying. Like I really could have just ended there and been like, happy to go home after season 2 of The Sopranos. Can't wait till season 3 because there's so much catharsis. There's so much like big emotion. There's so much big plot moments. And what we end up getting in the finale of The Sopranos season 2 is actually like quite exciting because it does something so different. But this episode alone It's so juicy. It's just so juicy. I won't go into any specifics of it because I don't want to spoil it. But it's very good. Everything you want from an episode of The Sopranos, honestly.
I would have been shocked if you hadn't picked two The Sopranos episodes, and I would have been more shocked if you hadn't picked this
This
episode.
one.
This is such a fantastic episode. We also did a watch along of this episode as well, which
Yeah.
was just so much fun. It was really fun, like watching the episode, and then I had you here, and I could watch your reaction to what I was watching at the same time. It was so much fun. It was such a delight. Such a tremendous episode, and then followed up with a really interesting finale as well. So
Mm-hmm.
just man, The Sopranos is so good. So this is a great pick.
It's really good. Yep, yep. That was such a fun watch along. Like of all episodes to do a watch along, that is a really good one. So yeah, go check out our episode where we get to react together. Okay, we've picked a collection of 3 episodes each, but we love to give out some awards. So some birthday awards. The first category is for memorable dialogue or just like a fabulous line. What is your choice for this one? There's so many to
There's
choose from.
so many. Can I give you my runner up and
Yes.
then give you my one that I'm picking? I have picked one, but I
Okay,
also
good.
have a runner up that I love, um, which is from the wedding episode of The Bear, and it
Oh,
is when my guy Marcus says from under the table, "I'm afraid of running out of creativity," and I loved that moment. It's so tender and
beautiful.
wonderful. It's just such an insight into who Marcus is. It's just, it's so beautiful, and he's wonderful. So I just wanted to shout that out. But my actual pick is also from The Bear, but it is in episode 2 when Sugar says it's completely 100% okay if you don't love it anymore. And
Oh, oh,
that is it's such a
so
beautiful moment when
wise.
she says that to Carmi, and it really does unlock the entire season. Like that
Mm,
conversation that he has with her and her giving him
mhm.
that permission, I
Yeah.
think unlocks what we see through the rest of the season, in addition to it just being so tender and wonderful and insightful as Sugar is. So I love that moment. I love that line.
It's so good. And it's so wise. I think
Yeah.
like as an audience member watching this, you can't help but like take some of that yourself too and have the permission given to yourself, which it's so crazy because I feel like we often see so much in media in our shows and in our movies, people solidifying their dreams and chasing after their dreams, but we don't really get the picture of like what happens when your dream isn't what you wanted or it
Yeah.
changes and evolves. We see actually usually more like your dream doesn't come true or you become like toxic chasing after dreams, which we get in The Bear. But this really human perspective of like you don't have to fixate on the things and lock into the things that you always thought you would is really just wise. So yeah, that's such a great choice. I love it so much. um I am going with a very different vibe. This is Sopranos season 1, episode 1. Dr. Melfi asks Tony Soprano what did he do, what he does for a living, and he goes waste management consultant. And I just think I get a kick out of it. It's the first line that came to mind of like a candidate for this, and I was like, I laughed thinking about that. So it's very good. Uh, and very clever. I think so much of The Sopranos is people saying something, but that's not what they're actually saying, which I think makes the show really engaging and stimulating because no one is meaning anything they're saying. It's all coded language. And it's a great example of like, it's winking. Uh, Waste management consultant.
Which is also so brilliant because no one's going to ask you a follow up if your job is waste management consultant. Nobody
Right?
wants to know what you actually do. Like, that's such a
Nope.
brilliant way to deflect from actually having to share what you do.
Yep. Yep. It's so good. Okay. Favorite character. What is your choice for this one, for this category?
So with this one, I struggled a little bit. I was like, do I go for like our beloved characters that we really love, that we want to root for, that just like tug on our heartstrings? And then I went, no. I'm going to go with a character that just I'm so delighted every time they're on screen, even though they are a horrible human being. I love seeing them. And so I'm going with our girl Livia.
Yeah.
She is a whole mess. She's an absolute monster, manipulative as hell, and I love her. She's wonderful. She brings so much every time she's on screen. I have so much fun when Livia is in an episode. So I'm going with our girl.
We literally miss her when she's not
Yes.
here. You know, I think that's quite telling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And you get such a kick
Oh,
out of
she's
our
just
girl.
perfect. She's
Yeah.
so funny.
She is authentically herself.
Yes.
No growth,
No.
just authenticity.
Yes, yes. And that's what we want from her. We don't want growth from Livia.
No.
We just need her to be a hot, manipulative mess, which is what she has been for the entire 2 seasons.
Right.
And she's perfect.
I don't want to see her be healthy, a
No,
healthy human being. That's not interesting for us.
nope,
A good mom. Nah.
nah.
I'm like, give us more toxicity. uh my favorite character, well, my runner-up is the Octo Eyeball from Alien Earth. Just shout out to that thing. I love it. I want more of it. I want a stuffed
Yes.
animal of it. Like, I'm so curious about this creature. He's so clever. He,
Mm-hmm.
she, it is so clever. It's schemy. It's planful. It has a lot in common with Livia, perhaps, you know? But this might be like an obvious choice, but I have to go with Tony Soprano. I find him just so fascinating. Um, I feel constant whiplash with his character, which I think is so fun for me. There's moments where he's showing these really soft, tender sides. He's being an amazing dad. He's connecting with his daughter and understanding her. He's showing real remorse and guilt and a sense of morality. And then other moments he's being just like a egotistical man who doesn't know what he wants and can't deal with his feelings. And I just in all media, I love like unlikable protagonists that have strands of humanity that you have to like mine for. Something about that just like really does it for me. I'm so, I lean in and I want to root for you even though I know that I should not. I just love those characters. It's probably how I love all organized crime and mafia media of any kind, and Tony is the epitome of that. He is so deeply human, and there's so many moments where he can articulate these deep human universal fears and desires better than any of us can. And gosh, there's something to root for in that. So gotta go with Tony Soprano. uh, as much as you might love him or hate him, he is a colorful human being, much to unpack.
He's so interesting to watch. He's such a blast and such a well crafted character and just fantastic. James Gandolfini also gives such a good
Yes.
performance as Tony, and we have so much empathy for this character. So even when he's doing the terrible things, we still want to root for him because we have seen the goodness inside of him,
Yep.
which then makes us have all kinds of complicated emotions watching this mob guy do his mob guy stuff.
With his mob guy friends
You know? It's
in
a good
their
time though. It's a great show.
okay, standout moment. I'm excited to hear. This is now just like expanded to multiple galaxies of possibilities because there's arguably like thousands and thousands of moments. What is your choice for your favorite moment from the past 5 to 6 seasons of television that we've watched?
Okay, so this was really hard. So I have a runner up,
Okay.
but I did pick one. I have
Okay.
mostly followed the rules today, but
Kind
my
of. You picked
my
four.
runner up
Okay.
is The Sopranos season 1 episode 11, and it is the attempted hit on Tony. Uh It's
Yeah.
such a great scene. It's filmed so well. In our review, you very astutely made all of the comparisons to The Godfather in that scene. Like it's so brilliant. It's also so pivotal to the plot. So it's just a great moment. But the moment that I have chosen actually comes from The Sopranos season 2, episode 4. And it is a moment that I referenced kind of throughout the rest of the episodes. And it
Yeah.
is when Janice makes the comment about the Madonna and the whore. And I
Mm.
love where that comes in that episode as Tony is in Italy talking with Annalisa and he doesn't know what to do with her. And then Janice says that, and it just makes so much sense about how Tony sees the world, how Tony sees women, how women
Yeah.
operate within this family. And then that line, I feel like we see play out over the rest of the episode or the rest of the season when there are some like really female focused episodes too. So I
Mm.
loved that moment. I felt like that line
So
and
good.
that conversation with Janice really like unlocked something for me in my brain. And then you just see how that thread just continues throughout the season. So that was my standout moment.
That's a great pick. Yes. And that really opened up this framing and this lens for so many of the intentional choices that The Sopranos makes in all the following episodes. And I just love it because I know that so many people have watched this show over the years, but the sensitivity that we have as women for some of those dynamics, I think is really neat in hopefully what we are able to see is resonating or is ringing true in some of these episodes of The Sopranos that traditionally should like center men, and yet the women are just as pivotal to this world. Which leads to my standout moment. Okay, so my runner up, because I'm going to break the rules too, is the Bears wedding episode when they're under the table talking about the things that they're afraid of. I adore that moment. I almost really went with it. It's so funny to see how each character is so themselves and the thing that they're able to articulate is so accurate but also so honest, and I think it was just like such a refreshing moment to see this like beautiful vulnerability from all of these people together. It just gives me hope for humanity. But I'm gonna have to go with something, a very different vibe, and it's in The Knight in White Satin Armor, Janice, our girl, taking Richie out. I think my jaw dropped to the bottoms of the earth. And I don't know. I just think that in so much of television and storytelling, it's hard to be wowed these days. And I was wowed. I was wowed and I was shocked, and the adrenaline was coursing through my veins, and it was thrilling. I also think that this choice, the storytelling choice, is pretty genius because it's revealing about Janice and her wiring as a female character in this show, and really being pivotal to forwarding this plot. There's all these other men that are scheming to, Rich, Tony's plan to take Richie out already, and that's not what happens. Like no one's plan comes to fruition. Junior's plan doesn't come to fruition. Tony's plan doesn't come to fruition because we have an agent of chaos, and that is Janice, and she's actually the one that is pushing all of these characters into the new reality. I also think there's something like poetic about that moment too, because we've seen that Richie has been the aggressor for so much of the show up until this point. He's a loose cannon, but the zag and expectations of Janice being the one in this overwhelming moment of emotion is quite significant. And I think The Sopranos is so much about emotion and how these characters act on emotion, they act on impulse, or they're stuffing away their emotions and it's still coming out in all these ways. Like think like the framing of Tony's whole journey with therapy and having to process his rage and his fear and all that kind of stuff. And his inability to do that at some points is so much of the thesis of the show, and Janice being a product of the family that Livia has created, and her trauma is unable to manage that, and it is this outpouring. So there's something just like deeper and layered and really meaningful about that moment while also just being a really crazy moment. So man, top moments of television for me is Janice taking Richie out in that scene. So good.
It's such a great choice because it's not what you would expect, even though Janice is such an agent of chaos. And yet, I the thing that I really love about that moment is, I forget, I think it's like episode 4, 5 or something, but Richie tells Christopher something to the effect of like, you can't put your hands on a woman until she's your wife. And Richie
He
doesn't
does.
listen to his own advice. And so Janice murders him. Uh, and so it's this like this feeling of comeuppance almost of like, you didn't play by the rules. You haven't played by the rules the entire season, and now you're paying for it.
Yeah.
So it's shocking. It's satisfying. It's just such a great moment. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great episode, a great moment within the episode. Such a good pick.
Mm-hmm. And also just like genius from the screenwriters to like delay the showdown between Junior
Yeah.
and Richie and whatnot. They kind of basically swerve themselves out of it so they can have a lot more to write. And so we're satisfied and also still leaning into the same questions we have been this whole time. So I think it's so clever, so cleverly done. All right. Wow. What a year of TV, some amazing picks. It was really actually fun to like almost revisit these memory balls of like moments, characters, episodes, lines of dialogue from the past year. And we've experienced quite a many like the highs were high, the lows were low for our characters over the course of their journeys. And we're excited to just see what comes next. I think that's one of the things that's fascinating about TVNS, like you mentioned at the beginning of the episode, is we don't really know what we're going to review. It's not like movies where you're like, we're definitely going to be covering The Odyssey this year for sure. We have no idea because shows will kind of gain momentum so quickly. And so we kind of get excited and want to join in the conversation there, or something classic that has been on our list for a long time feels like the right moment. So, what will the year of TVNS hold for us ahead? Who knows?
Who knows indeed? Yeah, it's going to be, I'm so excited to see what else we review next, what's coming out this year, when will we get to the rest of The Sopranos, because obviously we're going to have to finish this amazing show.
Yes.
So just so many good things ahead of us, and excited to watch them together. The other thing that I want to shout out about the past year is that TVNS got merch. I am wearing our TV, you can't see because of my hair, but TV is my happy place. We have a TVNS shirt. Jen, you are also wearing one of our Movies and Us sweaters.
It felt fitting.
It does feel very fitting.
About mafia people, but it's I'm gonna get up and show it. Don't mess with the family. Whether it's the Corleone family or the Sopranos family, just don't.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, I have to tell you, this sweatshirt is so thick. It's such good quality. I've like washed in and it hasn't pilled. It's really, really nice. Sometimes it can be a little variable with merch, but we've been quite intentional to pick some great things. And Sarah did an incredible job designing all of the graphics for these. This is one of our one-sentence summaries, but the TVNS, there's also a Movies and Us merch too, but being festive today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so fun. So I'm hoping in the next year we're able to roll out TVNS, like more TVNS merch, but right now we have the one TVNS sweater, shirt, whatever kind of style you want, but it's in a few different colors. So yeah, hopefully more coming in the next year. We'll see what we can do.
We'll see. Yeah, so fun. We'll include links in the show notes to where you can buy some merch, and also just check out our feed. Like we mentioned, we covered a lot of stuff this year. Some are classics, some are maybe beloved favorites. So go watch along things with us. We introduced that this year. That was really fun. We're excited to do maybe more watch alongs in this upcoming year. So who knows what the future will hold, but we know it'll be together. Fake awards,
yes,
episode titles.
Yep.
Zag takes, lots of looking aheads, continuity errors, you know?
Of course. Gotta have them.
It'll be a good time. So come watch along with us, follow along on the journey of these shows together as we dive into more at TVNS this upcoming year. Thank you for celebrating our 3rd birthday with us. Blah! And we can't wait to see more of what we'll cover this upcoming year. Hope you have an amazing week, and we'll see you on the feed soon. Thank you for listening to today's episode of TV and Us. We are part of the Movie Archer podcast network, so check out moviearcher.com to learn more.
Our name sums it up. We're big fans of TV and the powerful ways we can connect with each other and the world around us. This podcast is about all of us and our shared stories.
You can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you tune into your favorite shows. Drop us a rating and review, letting us know your thoughts about today's episode.
You can connect with us on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at tvnuspod or email us at tvnuspod@gmail.com. Check out our website, andusmedia.co, for the latest on TV and Us and our other podcast, Movies and Us.
We hope you have an amazing week, and we can't wait to see y'all very soon.